Hello, hope all of you are well. Today we will do rain in the summer, which is very beautiful poem. The poet has very beautifully described the rain during a summer season. Rain during rainy season is very common, but during the summer season, when rain comes, it is very beautiful and it affects rather various people, various things, and this is fantastically described by the poet. How beautiful is the rain after the dust and heat in the broad and fiery street in the narrow lane. How beautiful is the rain. So during the summer season, the streets and the lanes are, it is sun perched everywhere. There is heat, and when the rain comes, this earth, which is very hot due to the heat of the sun, as if the thirst of this earth is quenched by the rain. How it clatters along the roof like the tramp of hope, how it gushes and struggles out from the throat of the overflowing sprout. In the second stanza, the poet has described about the clattering sound of along the roofs. When the rain falls over the roof, it makes different sounds. Over here, simile has been used like the tramp of hooves. It makes a sound very similar to the hooves of a horse. It gushes and struggles out from the throat of the overflowing sprout. So the rainwater gushes out from the overflowing sprouts or the drains or the runoffs that goes or are carried out from the drains. Across the window pane, it pours, and swift and wide with a muddy tide, like a river down the gutter roars, the rain, the welcome rain. So for the, when the rain splashes along the window pane, it gives a very soothing effect. Not only that, when rain pours and pours, it fill up the gutters, it fill up the lanes around, and it as if makes a muddy tide all around the street. The sick man from his chamber look at the twisted brooks. He can feel the cool breath of each little pool. His fevered brain grows calm again, and he breathes a blessing on the rain. Even a sick person who has been suffering long from the fever, when the rain comes, he feels soothed. That cool rain drops, when lowers the temperature of his body, he feels much better. From the neighboring school comes the boys with more than their wonted noise and commutation, and down the wet streets sail their mimic fleets till the treacherous pool engulfs them in its reeling and turbulent ocean. Even when the schoolboys come out, they love the commutation due to the rain and they rushes out. They feel good. They make small paper boats and flow them into the little pools, little brooks that have been formed all around their school and in the street. They feel the enjoyment and they really love the rain. In the country on every side, where far and wide, like a leopard's tawny and spotted hide, stretches the plain to the dry grass and drier grain. How welcome is the rain. Even in the countryside, where far and wide, there is grass which has been becoming brown due to the heat. As soon as the raindrops fall on it, it becomes greener again. So the grass becomes refreshed again because of the rain. In the furrowed land, the toilsome and patient oxen stand, lifting the yoke encumbered head. With their dilated nostrils spread, they silently inhale the clover-scented gale and the vapors that arise. In the countryside, in the furrowed land, which has become hard due to the heat, even the oxen, feel it very hard to plow the field. But as soon as the rain falls, they feel it easier, and as such the plowing become easier. So the soothing odor that spreads around with the first rain, they try to gain that odor, and they feel the work much more easier, and as such the rain gives them a relief too. From the well watered and smoking soil, for this rest in the furrow after toil, their large and lustrous eyes seem to thank the Lord more than man's spoken word. So oxen's large eyes, lustrous eyes, seems to thank God for the rain. Why? Because after the rain, their toil, their hard work seem to become easier. Near at hand, from under the sheltering trees, the farmer sees his pasture and his fields of grain. A farmer who is standing under a tree sees the full, green harvest of his field. As they bend their tops to the numberless beating drops of the increasing rain, he counts it as no sin. Then he sees therein only his thrift and gain. And he feels so good to see the rain. He feels so good to see his harvest. He feels that, yes, this is his gain of hard work. This and far more than this, the poet sees. He can behold Aquarius old, walking the fenceless field of year, and from each ample fold of the clouds about him rolled, scattering everywhere. So everywhere the showering rain has scattered and gave something or other good to the people or things around. He can behold things manifold that may not be wholly told, have not been wholly sung nor said, for his thought never stops, follows the water drops. So there are many things which may be untold, which may be manifold, but we may not, God has given us so many things which sometimes we thank, which we sometimes may not thank, but there are certain things which without which we cannot survive. So raindrops are one such things which we don't sing about, but these are such things, such a thing for which we should be thankful to God. Down through the chasm and gulfs profound to the dewy fountain head of lakes and river underground, and sees them where the rain is done on the bridge of colors 7, climbing up more to heaven opposite the setting sun. So there are, the rain is, the raindrops when come, it fills the rivers and brooks and fountains, and finally the whole earth is refreshed and regained. Thus the sheer with vision clear sees form appear and disappear in the perpetual round of strange, mysterious change. From birth to death, from death to birth, from earth to heaven, from heaven to earth. And as such, from birth to death and death to birth, the cycle goes on, and this rain comes and goes, and as such the water cycle goes on, bringing us and refreshing us again and again, till glimpses more sublime of things unseen before unto his wondering eyes reveal the universe as an immeasurable wheel, turning forevermore in the rapid and rushing river of time. So this, as the time persists, continues, and the rain comes and goes and refreshes the earth, with that our survival, the survival of human being, continues. So the poet has very effectively described how the rainwater is useful not only to humans, to animals, to things like the oxen, the grass, to the schoolboys, to the sick people, and as such replenishes the world all over. The poet has used many poetic devices also, like simile, like the trump of hopes. There are large and lustrous eyes, that is alliteration is used with the L sound. And metaphor is a great part over here. By the poem's end, we understand the rain and the water. It delivers to all of the waterways, serves as a metaphor for the universe and is perpetual motion and change, captured in the Longfellow's final line, the rapid and rushing river of time. Thank you.